So you're probably wondering, where do we get the ideas and how do you get these things started? Well, we subscribe and get some insight data. We have some people that are very good at monitoring the retail environment to
And you got
see
that
what's
phone
selling.
call, you got the voice, the customer service goes straight to the R&D department. I really like that. That's very smart. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But we have an
Very
insight.
good, yeah.
We collect insight data, so we watch the sales, and we look to see what consumers are buying. And you can the sales data will tell you what the consumer is gravitating. Let me give you a quick example. When I first started, the dominant form of wax was paste wax. In the 90s, it moved to liquid wax. By the 2000s, it started to go to spray wax. Why? The technology was changing. Car finishes were changing. We went to the advent of clear coat. You still had swirls and scratches, but liquid waxes seemed to work on the softer paints.
Yeah.
Softer paints back in the 90s. Then when you got into the Mercedes or some of the harder paint finishes, you had to develop compounds and products that worked on them as well. So you can see that as cars evolved or the automotive vehicles evolve, we evolve with that. And the other thing we watch is what's relevant to the consumer at the time. Like I said, we went from paste wax, now spray wax is the dominant form. So you can see how that changes, that morphs over time. So we start by watching the consumer needs. The R&D department, the marketing department, we start look to the questions that people are asking. Or do you have a product that does this? I have a problem. Do you have a product that fixes that?
Yeah.
Headlight is a prime example. That started in 2008, 2009. Obviously, we went away from sealed beam headlights in the 90s to all these plastic headlights. And over the years, they started to yellow and they started to turn foggy white. I was actually working with some suppliers that had these precision sanding pads that went all the way from 200 grit all the way up to 10,000 grit.
Holy crap!
Real
series of pads,
pretty fine, yeah.
So there was a series where I was actually working on trying to getting rid of scratches with the sanding pads at the time, with a lot of research, and the headlight opportunity came around where all of a sudden we started to hear people using what car wax do you have that has good cleaner in it I can use on my headline? Ding, marketing had some ideas there.
Yep.
This couple of small SKUs came out with cleaner polishes, liquid cleaner polishes targeted towards headlights, but it wasn't doing the job for everybody because the variance from light oxidation to really severe oxidation on some of these cars, and like you're in Louisiana, correct? I'm sure you have more oxidation down there on the headlights than Alex, you do up in Canada, depending on the latitude and how much sun it's exposed to, and if the car sits on.
Bugs. People don't wash the bugs off of it.
All the etchings and all that
bugs
stuff.
and all that.
Get ate up.
So we developed a kit that worked in all type of scenarios, and it turned out to this day it's the number one selling kit in the market. So it's our headlight restoration kit.
So then
Small
you have
green box. It's in green box. You can find that in all the retailers.
There, so that kind of brings us to, might as well jump into it now, the new products for 2023. You have a new headlight restoration kit. So what's the difference from going green to the hybrid solutions, and why is now the time to kind of revamp the headlight kit?
Okay. I just happen to have one here.
How convenient. I love it.
An empty box because it's not in production yet, so you're getting to see this before.
Okay, it's early. Okay, I was wondering because I was like, I don't think I've seen that one, but okay.
No, but basically, our headlight kit is number one in units as far as in the average in the Walmarts and the auto chains of the world. It's a top seller, and we actually put number one on it. But it's a great kit. Consumers started asking, they said, your kit lasts about 6 months to maybe a year, but then I have to redo it. Can you do something to make it last a little longer?
There you go. Yeah.
And we made one that was called a speed headlight kit that saved steps, and it's still worked very, very well. But consumers still wanted over 1 year restoration, which is why we developed this one. This is a premium headlight kit. I still had to rely on a sanding pad for this because the sanding pad really knocks off a lot of that physical oxidation, that degraded polymer off the surface, and it really kind of cuts through that to get to the good polycarbonate underneath.
I think a good kit starts with the sanding pad for sure.
Yeah. So we still had to start with the sanding pad, but we also added to the kit. We were working with some other companies, and we added what we called an oxidation remover. If your headlights are really yellow, you probably want to start with that oxidation remover. You rub it on the headlight. It'll take you a few minutes, but you'll see that pad start to turn yellow. It draws out the residual, the monomer that is broken down into yellow that's caught into the matrix of the plastic, draws that out, so your headlight will start to get clearer. So if you got really yellow headlights, you want to start with the oxidation remover first. You'll see the pad literally turn brown on you. And there's 2 pads in there, so you want to use one per headlight to really make sure you get the yellowing out. Wash the headlight off, go to your sanding pad, remove that oxidation.
I like that you have both steps, because I've seen kits that just go from the little white to the protection, and I've used them before, and that's just not the way to go. You got to have the sanding step, and I'm glad y'all didn't skip on the sanding step.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking where, here we go. So we got and then we have your besides your oxidation, we took one of our best compounds that works. It has our precision platelets in it. So basically, this compound is designed that it has an aluminum oxide, but what this aluminum oxide platelet does is when you put pressure by hand, it self-aligns and slides and glides over the headlight, so it produces really good clarity. And that becomes the foundation. After you do your oxidation remover, your sanding pad, you use this compound to bring back the transparency and the crisp clarity of the lens. And then what we did is we're using a ceramic resin as the sealing wipe, which is actually started working with a company about 4 or 5 years ago. And this coating, I can tell you by personal experience, it's lasting 3 years. So, with the proper prep of the headlight, this sealing wipe is definitely going to give you over a year's worth of protection and transparency. Now, again, I'm here in Chicago. I'm doing physical testing. It might be different in Florida with all the Florida or Louisiana or the southern states. But I guarantee you, when we put this up against our traditional kit, we're probably extending the headlight clarity at least 2 to 3 times.
Awesome. And I think with the headlight kits too, it's definitely a safety factor as well. If you're doing a lot of driving in the dark, I mean, it's, people are thinking, oh, my headlights are toast, I'm just gonna get a new set, whether it be aftermarket or OEM. But it's a little bit of work can bring it back to factory fresh, and you keep on it, and you're saving money at the end of the day, and also kind of increasing the safety as well.
Absolutely.
I think another really neat thing, I'm just checking out the kind of description on the website, but I think a great thing is that all the steps are right on the site. If you wanted to check before you buy it, you can kind of see, hey, is this product for me, or do I want to go down the route of, getting someone to do it for me? They can kind of see, hey, it's cut and dry. And even if they are somewhat intimidated, it gives you the flexibility to be, hey, maybe I can do this. And with Turtle Wax being such a big household name, they're not going to steer you in the wrong direction, and they're going to make it simple from someone who really cares about their car to someone who could really care less. So I think just that extra little touch is extra.
I'm glad you brought up about the safety because we do promotions in the fall, because obviously when you get into the northern hemisphere, you have short days. You're driving more at night. So we try to do promotions in the fall to get your car ready for the winter, and headlights is one of them. But it's kind of funny. Next time you're out shopping and you walk through a parking lot, just look at the headlights of the cars and go, that car needs it, that car needs it. Consumers don't realize they get used to driving with reduced functionality of their headlight, and they don't realize that if you're going to take the time to either go to the car wash or take care of the car yourself, take a look at your headlights. And your taillights too, because this kit will also work on the taillights.
Yeah,
There you
and certain headlights now are not cheap. You have all kinds of leveling
No.
motors and different, things, a lot more moving parts than just a single, like we mentioned earlier, the steel beam. My first car had steel beam headlights, and you don't replace the bulb, you replace the whole darn thing.
Yeah.
And now, there's so much involved with the headlight that why wouldn't you want to restore it?
Yeah, my daughter has a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Yep.
$1,700 for one headlight.